So, far away Lucas, why are we talking about this particular superhero today?
Well, because Miles Morales Spider-Man is coming out on the PlayStation 5, Carl.
It is, yes, but we're recording this like a month ahead of time, so I hope it goes out on the right day. So, far away Lucas, as you often do, would you like to just let the lovely audience at home know what the specific topic of today's Wiki Weekends is?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Ultimate Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Yes, and we're referring specifically to the Marvel Wiki, a link to which you can find below. And I believe the impetus for today's video is that over on your personal gaming channel, yes?
Yes, yeah.
A playthrough of Spider-Man Miles Morales will be beginning starring me and Lucas, but because we're recording this ahead of time, we have nothing in this video to say about that game other than it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it looks cool and I can't wait to play it.
And without further ado, let's delve into the wiki. So we'll start, as we often do at the beginning, with the real name of Miles Morales, which is Miles Gonzalo Morales. You can see why I went with his first name, can't you? Gonzalo. So that's a pretty interesting name, but I think Miles sounds a bit cooler, Miles Morales, because you get that classic Marvel alliteration in there.
Yeah.
And it's reminiscent of Peter Parker, Reed Richards, all the other ones. Like any other alliterative names in Marvel that you quite like, Lucas?
I mean, Susan Storm. I was literally thinking of that.
Yeah, there's a couple. Then you got like
J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson's the best one. It's 3. So there you go. Fuck it. Let's put another one in there. But yeah, there's so many alliterative names in Marvel, and I kind of like that. And we'll move on. Current alias: Spider-Man. Don't you fucking forget it. Aliases: The Amazing Spider-Man, Bad Machine 1999. Oh, Lucas, this is a good one. You ready for your band name? The Black Ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Captain Universe, he must have been Captain Universe for a bit. El Fantasma Negra, so the Black Phantom. Ooh. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Kid Arachnid. I don't mind Kid Arachnid.
That's pretty cool.
Like Spider Boy and Spider Lad, they can fuck off, but Kid Arachnid's pretty good. That's a strong one.
Yeah.
Night Spider, Miles Davis, Mr. Spider, Mr. Spider-Ham, Mr. Spidey, Second Spider. Lucas, are you ready? Shadow Spider.
Oh.
The Shadow Spider, because he wears the dark costume. Spider-Man Jr. See, I don't like that.
No.
Fuck off. Like, he has earned the mantle of Spider-Man. Do not call him Spider-Man Jr. Fuck you. He is Spider-Man. Then we have Origin, which is a human mutant who was bitten by a genetically enhanced spider. Yeah, not bad. So, Lucas, thoughts on Miles Morales?
Now, I don't know too much about the character other than what I've seen from like Into the Spider-Verse, but I just really like the take of him in that movie of just like, yeah, the younger, like inexperienced Spider-Man who has the Peter fucking Parker as a mentor. It's a really cool relationship.
As mentors go, having Spider-Man as a mentor is pretty good. And as far as introductions go, you can't go far wrong with your introduction to a character being a phenomenal 10-on-10 movie that everybody loved.
Yeah.
That was absolutely incredible in every single way. But yeah, that was my first introduction to the character proper too. And then obviously the Spider-Man game. But yeah, I like Miles Morales. I think he's a worthy successor to the Spider-Man man. So we have a quote from the man himself here. A hero isn't always the one who wins. It's the one who always tries. Oh, he's got that Peter Parker spirit.
Yeah, that's a really good interpretation. I like it.
I like that. That's a good take on, though, with great power comes great responsibility. It's not about like succeeding. It's about trying to do the right things. The trying that counts. And few heroes try as hard as Spider-Man does.
Yeah.
And we'll skip straight past the origins. Like, if you give a shit, go read the comics. We're going to get to the fun stuff right now, which is powers and abilities, because I was always under the assumption that Miles Morales is just Spider-Man by another name, but apparently he has unique abilities that I'm not aware of, so I'm looking forward to seeing what those are. So, powers. Spider Physiology. Miles gained the proportionate abilities of a spider after being bitten by a spider, which had been genetically modified with the Oz formula. But I just like you gain the powers of a spider after being bitten by a spider. Leave it at that. We know Spider-Man's origins. You don't have to keep covering it.
So we've seen the movies of it.
We have. Like that great tweet of, I've seen Batman's parents get shot more times than my own parents have kissed. So, Superhuman Strength. Miles possesses superhuman strength, making him capable of lifting at least 10 tons. His physical strength also extends into his legs, enabling him to jump to the height of several stories in a single bound. Like Spider-Man, he has to pull his punches and kicks, otherwise his blows would prove fatal to a normal human being.
Oh, I love that shit.
And that's the thing of, every game featuring Spider-Man, you should not have to do combos on enemies. I know that they want to put them in because it's fun, but one punch should realistically be all it takes. Like when you're fighting someone like, say, Dr. Octopus, and you are landing a unguarded clean blow to his chin, and he like shakes that shit off. That should not be happening, especially when that blow is being delivered by an angry Spider-Man wearing full armor.
Yeah.
Just saying, makers of that Spider-Man game. Great final fight, but I do not believe that Dr. Octavius, a 50-year-old out-of-shape man with a degenerative disease, could survive even one of Spider-Man's punches and keep going.
Yeah.
Anyway, it goes here. Like Peter Parker in times of great duress, Miles sometimes displays far greater feats of strength. During the events of Secret Empire, after watching Black Widow's murder, spoilers I suppose, Miles shattered Captain America's shield in a single punch.
What?
And it says here that, because I'm guessing it was like, no, isn't Captain America's shield unbreakable? It is in the 616 universe, but this is a alternate universe, and Captain America's shield is not indestructible, though it does note here it is still very durable, making it a very impressive feat of strength. Because in the 616 universe, the Hulk dented Captain America's shield, not broke it in a single punch. Oh, superhuman speed. Miles possesses the proportionate speed of a spider, therefore he can run and move at speeds beyond the physical limits of the finest human athlete. And I've always loved that, where they don't need to explain it.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't need to explain it. It's like he's got the proportionate powers of a spider, and you see how small a spider is and how quick it runs across your bedroom floor at night, or behind you as you're watching this video, for everyone who's scared of spiders. You think, now imagine if that spider was like human size, and think about how fast it'd go.
God, it's that moment when you take your eyes off the spider, it's just gone.
It is, yeah. It's just disappeared. And I will always tell this story because I check the inside of the bog roll every single time, because one time as a kid there was a spider in there. And I tell that story on the channel as much as possible so other people also check inside the bog roll, so I'm not the only one. Anyway, spider sense. When danger is present, Miles feels a buzzing sensation in his head as a sort of early warning system, allowing him to react accordingly. His spider sense offers him near complete awareness of his surroundings, and in conjunction with his reflexes, allows him to instinctively dodge or counter, and I quote again, nearly all attacks. His spider sense seems to be greatly enhanced compared to that of Peter Parker. And we've already talked about how broken Peter Parker's is, and Miles Morales' is better.
Holy shit.
So he has better spider sense than the original Spider-Man. So one example occurs the night that Peter is killed. Miles dreamed that he himself was being attacked by Electro, and at the same time the real Electro was planning to hunt and murder Peter Parker many miles away. So he sensed that just danger in an abstract sense was going to befall a Spider-Man. Not even him. His spider sense impacts other Spider-Men.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, he was also able to sense that reality was not quite right when he was with Tony Stark. This suggests that Miles' ability may be borderline precognitive as opposed to only warning of immediate danger. So it even warned him that reality was askew. You know, that thing, like that stone in the gauntlet, that could do anything. It can alter the perceptions of any living being, except for Spider-Man. So we move on to, these are the abilities that I was not aware of. And we have Bioelectrokinesis, which is fucking awesome. And is this his ability to just shock people?
Just give him a little tase.
Just give him a little taste, the Batman fist. Let's go. So we have here, Miles possesses control over the natural electricity of his body. He's capable of utilising it for offensive purposes. Oh my god, Lucas, do you want to know what his little lightning bolt fists are called?
Isn't it like Venom Blast?
It's called the Venom Blast.
Yeah.
Why is it not called the Spider Sting?
Oh, that would have been good. But that's a move that Spider-Man does, isn't it?
Yeah, in Ultimate Marvel. But would it make more sense to call it the Spider Sting?
It probably would, yeah.
Because it shocks people and paralyzes them, much like in the way. Anyway, let's find out. That's besides the point. So Miles can send a bioelectric shock to his enemies or destroy technology by releasing a small spark of electricity from his hands. After the initial spark, moments later the enemy will be electrocuted. It seems that there are varying degrees to this ability, as some opponents have simply been dazed, whereas others have been completely incapacitated. It also seems more effective on people with genetic alterations, such as the Green Goblin and Venom. Oh, Lucas, I'm sorry, but we're going on now. The Mega Venom Blast.
Oh.
That's the name of my band. I'm calling that one straight away. His most recently discovered power. Miles displayed the ability to release powerful bursts of energy. After first using it, Miles is left exhausted. It is powerful enough to destroy much of a Hydra laboratory that Miles was being held in. This ability can be triggered by extreme stress or focus on Miles' part. So he can do the real final explosion.
Yeah, he can just blow up a lab. Fucking
Yeah. It won't kill Kid Boo, but it'll kill pretty much everything else. And then the Venom Punch. Oh, yeah, so there we go. Miles can enhance the power of his punches by infusing his fists with bioelectricity. So he can just punch people with energy, man. He's got energy fists.
I like how it says, you have to hold back your punches as Spider-Man, but fuck it, also tase people while you do it.
It's like that, the great thing in like Batman Arkham Knight, where it's, oh no, the Batmobile has tasers on the outside of it. It's still a 50-ton tank hitting people at half the speed of sound. The fact they're being tased and then flung into the upper atmosphere doesn't really help matters. So we have an energy thread generation. Miles can produce threads of bioelectricity from his hands. Oh no. So Lucas, he has organic web fluid, but it's electric web fluid. He said that said spinnerets carry the same tensile prehensility of his web fluid, meaning that he's just got webs that he can make on his own, but they're electric webs.
Because I thought he had like web shooters like Spider-Man.
He does, yeah. It says here that he has web shooters as well.
Oh.
And he can use them in tandem.
Fucking hell.
So he can do both at once. So if he hasn't got web shooters, he can use these electric webs that have the same capabilities as his webs. It says he can swing around on them or yank and flail around his opponents. He can also send a debilitating electrical shock, which disrupts, and I quote, their nervous system. Spider camouflage. Miles, including his clothing, can blend into surroundings, allowing him to sneak up on his enemies, or in some cases flee from them. This effect resembles that of invisibility, so that's not explained, but I want to know how it works on his clothes, because that's always the bullshit thing with a lot of hero powers.
It is,
Why does it work on their outfit? And the only time it's ever been explained is with the Fantastic Four, where they talk about how the suits they wore into space were subjected to the same radiation bombardment as they were. And then Reed Richards just built them later, but why do his clothes turn invisible?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been watching The Boys recently, and it's just that moment when it's like, oh, there's this guy who's invisible, and it's like, oh, right, so he just stands everywhere naked, then it's like, yeah.
The thing that I like about invisibility, though, is that technically you'd be blind if it worked. Because like you wouldn't be able to see, because the only way you see is because light's bouncing off your eyes and your brain processes that. But if you're invisible, the light's passing through you. Which means that invisibility would mean you're blind and naked and stumbling around, which doesn't sound that threatening, does it? Anyway, Lucas, are you ready? Immortality, in brackets, allegedly. Norman Osborn believed immortality to be a side effect of the Oz formula. Because Miles' body was altered by the Oz formula, he could also have such a power in theory. So he might be Spider-Man forever.
Oh, so he might just be invisible, unstoppable, immortal Spider-Man.
Maybe, we don't know. So he might be like worthy of the Spider-Man mantle after all. Stop calling him fucking Spider-Lad. And then we have abilities, bilingualism. Miles speaks English and Spanish fluently. Yeah. Because he's Hispanic, he's half Hispanic, half black.
Yes.
And like that's like why he's such a cool character, and he's like more representative of New York than a skinny white teenager.
Yeah.
Because he like lives in an area of New York that is like, not just white.
Yeah.
And it reminds me a little bit of Spider-Man Homecoming, where Tom Holland talks about the casting for the film. It says, well, you go to any school in the fucking Bronx and it's not going to be just white kids. We wanted our casting to reflect that. And it's like, that's really good. It's nice that people can go watch these movies and see themselves in those movies.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
And can you imagine being the kind of person who doesn't like that or releases like 45-minute long YouTube videos complaining about it? Some right small dick energy on display there. Anyway, the final ability we have is hand-to-hand combat. Despite not having any training, Miles' spider sense and reflexes make him a capable melee fighter. He has studied Peter's moves in combat by watching old footage of his past battles. Okay, I see that. So he's learning by just watching Spider-Man clips on YouTube.
He's got Tony Masters over here.
He has. He's also received combat training from the Ultimates and was taught drunken kung fu by his uncle Aaron while watching Jackie Chan movies. So he's learned, so he can fight. Oh wait, Lucas, let's just like put this down. All right, let's just get everything down. So Miles Morales has all the same abilities as Spider-Man, but in addition to those, has the ability to generate electrical webbing from his own body that is just as strong as his web fluid, can turn invisible, might be immortal, can speak one entire extra language, and knows drunken kung fu.
That's why he's the ultimate Spider-Man, Karl.
That's why he's the ultimate Spider-Man. Then we have notes here. So Miles' father is African-American, his mother is Puerto Rican. Miles was born and raised in Brooklyn as an aptitude for science, much like his predecessor, Peter Parker. Miles has his mother's last name, Morales, instead of his father's last name, which is Davis, because of naming customs in his mother's native Puerto Rico. I didn't know that. That's what we ourselves wondered out loud in our playthrough. Like, why does he take his mother's last name? Well, it's a Puerto Rican custom. There we go. That's explained. I've always wanted to know that. Thank you very much, this video. Miles has stated that his best subject is math. He has written fan fiction about himself. Have you heard that Spider-Man has got a 14-inch prehensile penis? Have you heard about it, Lucas? I'm not even going on. I'm not going on. That's it. Miles Morales writes fan fiction about himself. Fucking done.